Hey everyone, it's Josh with the brewpreneur.com and welcome to Beer Camp. Day 7, guys. We've made it halfway through and starting with our second half of the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp series. And starting it off tonight with the Beer Camp Dunkle Weisse, or Dunkle Weisse, as I should say. It's a collab between Sierra Nevada and Ayinger Brewery out of Germany. So looking forward to a nice German beer this evening. This is a real hybrid beer. Dunkel is usually the word used for a dark German lager, and then Weiss with the root word for wheat, a wheat beer. So this is going to be a cross between a dark lager and a wheat beer. So I'm really interested to see how this is. Another overseas collab with Ayinger out of Germany. So this should be a pretty good one. Very interesting style here, but we'll see how it goes. Heard some great things about this beer, and looking forward to getting into it. Lots of beautiful, beautiful beer there too. So, first glance, we've got a very, very hazy, dark beer here. As at the top of the glass is kind of lighter, but as you go deeper into the glass, further down, it's getting darker there. So, I would say a deep amber color here. Between an amber and a brown. Some would call this a copper. There is a pretty strong white head there. As soon as I poured it, it was there. Kind of a creamy head almost on there, which looks pretty good actually. I'm really interested to see how this tastes, being a combination between a Dunkel beer and a wheat beer here. So there's some haze in there. Characteristic of the wheat beer. We've had a few wheat beers in the Beer Camp series. The White IPA was one. The Berliner Weiss was another one. Getting that haziness from the wheat beer. But this, I can't wait to try it. Really, I think this is going to be really interesting. So I'll go ahead and give it a sniff and see what we have. So right on the nose, the first thing I'm getting is just kind of a yeasty type smell, characteristic of some of these German type beers. That's what's coming through predominant. There's also a sweetness there. I would kind of attribute that to some of the malts that have been used. It is of Weiss, so there is a substantial amount of wheat in it, but there's also some dark malt in it too, indicative of that dark color. So we're probably going to taste some of that sweet malt in there as well. So some sweet notes there, maybe some toasted bread, and then that some fruity German yeast type notes as well. So we'll see how this one is. Cheers. It's a very interesting beer. Lots of flavor in that, actually. Very, very, very surprised. You know, you look at the darker beer and you think it's going to be dark, heavier. You think it's going to be maybe even sweeter, but you know, it's still very much rooted in that wheat beer style. The beer's light, kind of a light to medium mouthfeel. I will say there are some sweeter notes in here, which come from that darker malt used. Again, some toasted bread, maybe some caramel, light caramel notes from the malt there. And let's see. And then yeah, some of that German yeast, some of that German yeast flavor too. Getting some of that, almost like thinking about it for just a second, almost like a dark hefeweizen, almost like a dark hefeweizen. That's what I could, I guess, put this next to. Take a hefeweizen, put some darker malt in it, and you've got this, because you've got the wheat mouthfeel, you've got the wheat haziness, you've got the light body of the hefeweizen, you've got the German yeast, some of the phenolic aromas and tastes, from the yeast, and then you've got some sweetness there from those darker malts. It's a very, very interesting combination. The Dunkle Weisse here. Um, I actually enjoy this. It's a little bit different than your standard wheat beer, your Belgian wit or your hefeweizen, but it's very, very good. Again, that extra sweetness, that caramel, toasted bread, um, different kind of malty sweetness there really adds a lot to this beer. I want to say maybe hints of vanilla in there too, in a way. But this is a great beer, very enjoyable. Nice twist on a German classic, the German classic Hefeweizen, kind of crossing a great German style in the Dunkel with the Hefeweizen to come up with this Dunkle Weisse here. Very, very good beer. I actually really enjoy this one. Even though it's a darker beer, it'd be great for a hot day. Good for beer camping out summertime. Great beer. If you've tried this beer, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in regards to not only just this beer, but how you think it compares to a standard Hefeweizen, or how you think it compares to a standard Dunkel, because this is a great hybrid between the two. That is for sure. Very good beer. Well done to Ayinger and Sierra Nevada on this one. But Beer Camp Day 7 in the books. The Dunkle Weisse, great collaboration, and you guys have a great day. Cheers.